Hi, in this video, I want to talk about the Sony a5000 and how to convert it into a almost perfect vlogging camera, like this gadget that I put together. Let's talk about it right now. All right, so before I talk about my contraption that I built for my Sony a5000, let's talk about why I need to build it in the first place. Well, as you know, Sony a5000 is not a perfect vlogging camera on its own. It needs to be modified a bit, okay? And that's why I made this contraption. So let's talk about its limit. First of all, when you're using this camera, you can only record up to 30 minutes and then it's kind of turns itself off, right? Because that's the limit of this camera. Um, so that is a problem when you're doing a long video shoot, right? Or you're doing a talk show and it's gonna be a long, whiny type of talk. And so if it stopped at 30 minutes and you don't know when it will stop, especially when it overheats, that's the second problem, which I'll talk in a minute. And so that is an issue with this, okay? 30-minute recording limit. So yeah, that's a problem. Number two, of course, I just mentioned is overheating, right? This thing can overheat within around 20 to 25 minutes. So, and that's on a nice kind of ambient temperature. You're talking about maybe 20 to 25 degrees. At around 25 to 30 minutes, it'll start, overheat and then it'll just stop altogether. You wouldn't know. And then when you try to record again, it may be only like another 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then you try again, it's only like a couple of minutes. So not very good for long recording. And the overheat is a big issue for this camera. And I'll show you how I work around that. And number three, most important, is the sound. Notice that there is no internal audio in, so you can't actually use a lavalier mic to hook up to this camera, and so the sound quality is not as great. In fact, it's, if you're recording in your general environment, and you might be able to hear everything. Now, the quality of the mic itself is pretty good. It's just the fact that you can't isolate the background noise, right? So this is why I built this contraption. As you can see here, I took a plastic container and basically I cut 1/3 of it. Let me show you the diagram. So basically I took this container here and then I cut 1/3 of it, okay? Just like here you can see, right? Cut 1/3. Then I put the insulator inside, so it allows the sound to bounce around and then go back into this mic. Okay. Now it's not perfect. I can hear the sound a little bit muffled, and then you can still hear a little bit of the background noise. The solution that we were able to solve is that when I talk into it, the sound goes into this container and it bounces around and go into that mic. And so it's a little muffled, but you can fix that in post. For example, using DaVinci Resolve, I was able to basically isolate the background noise a bit more. And the muffled, I was able to turn up the higher frequency and reduce that muffled sound, right? Using the sound from sound editing from the DaVinci Resolve. And so it works pretty good. It's not perfect, but it works well, for trying to make this better quality sound. Now, regarding the recording limits, there is a special app you can download and modify to your Sony a5000. Actually, I made a video, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and you can check other YouTubers. I'll provide the link below the video that I made, where I can take away that limit, the 30-minute limit, and make it a unlimited recording. So makes this vlogging camera basically allow you to record infinitely, depending on your battery, right? And also depending if it overheats or not. So that was solved. Now, number three, of course, overheating. It's still an issue. However, I was able to make it less overheating over time, which is like I was able to record, I think, at least an hour and something until the heating indicator shows up. Now, it didn't turn itself off. It's just showing that it's getting hotter, right? Now, I record another hour or so and still that heating indicator shows up, but it didn't turn itself off. So I would say, it can record about 2 hours without shutting itself down, compared to, for example, previously when it wasn't modified, right? And it only recorded for 30 minutes. Now, how did I do that? Well, there is a special, let me just show you a special adapter that you can get. There we go. Okay. So this adapter here in this Sony a5000, this is the I think FW50. It's adapter that connects to the USB battery. So you battery bank. So you connect that in there. And notice that there is a circuit that's outside of it. All the heat is dissipated in this module, not inside this container, right? This is just an empty socket. You connect the wire, you connect it into the terminals, right? Positive, negative terminal to the camera, and then you have this circuit built in, and then you connect this to your USB battery system. Let me show you quickly here, as you can see, right? So you put this and you connect it to your battery bank like that, right? And then you insert this, okay, into your Sony a5000. Let me show you quickly, like that, okay? And then you turn it on. Okay, let me just turn this thing on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See, it works. Okay, so you can see that it's running off this tiny battery bank system, and this is like a 10,000 milliamp hour, so it should last for at least 3-4 hours of recording, right? It's pretty amazing. And on top of that, it actually doesn't overheat. Like when I tried it out, after 2 hours, now the heat indicator, right, overheating indicator shows up, but it didn't turn itself off. So that is my solution. Okay, I was able to then prevent it from overheating for continuous recording, let's say for at least an hour or so. I was able to solve the 30-minute limit recording, and I was able to solve the overheating issue. And the power system too, I was able to make it record more than 2-3 hours at least. And then of course the sound quality using this container, right? I was able to allow it to isolate the background noise a little bit. And then I was able to then edit in post to isolate the background noise, just have my own vocal voice, as well as the muffled sound. I was able to adjust that using DaVinci Resolve in the editing tools, and that's it. Now this is a perfect vlogging camera. In fact, see, I actually got 2 of them. Okay, I got 2. Okay, 2 Sony a5000 because it's such a useful vlogging camera. If you know what you're doing and if you can modify it, you can actually do a good job. And this thing, like if you get the kit lens like this one here with the camera itself, you can get it probably around 150 bucks US or around 200 Canadian dollars. That is just amazing price for using it for vlogging. And I do everything in 1080p and the quality is amazing. All right, so let's give this a try and see what it looks like and what it sounds like. There we go, let me record this. Okay, so there it is. Now obviously, just want to test the sound. Notice it's a little bit muffled, but then I adjust it in post and you can see it sounds a bit better. The sound is isolated just in this container here. There is an insulator that allows it the sound to bounce back and forth into the 2 stereo mic there. And yeah, and the quality of the video is not bad at all for 1080p. I'm using, by the way, very important is to use a wide angle lens. Like this is a 16 mils f2.8. This is great because now you can adjust your focus manually, like within the arm reach, right? So you can do that. And so that's another key, is that you have this special lens that is wide angled and you're able to reach it and just adjust it manually, and you can do vlogging. Awesome. So that's how you do it. Next time, I'm going to show you how to convert look at this, your Fujifilm X-T3 into a vlogging camera. Notice the reason why I have this mirror at the back is going to act as a external monitor. So this is a mechanical way to make this into a vlogging camera. So I'm going to show you next week. At least I'm going to show you how I set it up, okay? And not just the Fujifilm X-T3, I also did it for the Sigma FP. Look at that. Okay. Now, by the way, these are all broken tripod. I modify it, and there you have this bicycle or e-bike mirror, right? This is actually, I got it from, thrift stores, couple bucks, right? I was able to modify it so that it act as like almost like an external monitor. As you can see, you can't see the back, right? But now with this mirror, it's able to see what's happening in the monitor, right? The LCD screen. So save you so much money. You don't have to buy those external monitor. Remember, the key here is to be able to have it in focus. So I'll talk about that next week, how I convert Sigma FP and the Fujifilm X T3 into a vlogging camera without expensive equipment, just using the mirrors, right? I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye. And oh, don't forget to subscribe and give me a little heart of appreciation. Bye.